Hello everyone, Games here, and welcome to the 30th speed build on the channel. This one has yet to have a name, because it doesn't. Because I should have thought of one, but I haven't. But this started, the walls and the floors, the foundations and stuff, came from Torben, or Simlinks, as he's known on the internet. He did the basic house. He's doing the same build on his channel. Well, not the same build, but he's starting from the same place and doing a thing, building his own house. And I think he's still working on his. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. But it'll be cool to see the two side by side, because this house doesn't look like it was particularly meant to be modern toward when you looked at it at the beginning, but the finishing product ended up being very modern and minimalistic, and I really like it. So that's cool. Most of this actually changes, especially that bit around the side. I just make it all a bit squarer and a little bit easier to do things with. And the roof is awesome. Doesn't stay like this either. In the centre bit there's some skylights, which is really nice, and then on the sides there you have the grass like you've got there, which is quite cool. I do like the grass and the skylights from Into the Future. I thought they were really cool, hence why I use them. That normally makes sense. But yeah, that was that. I like the pattern that the window tiles made, because yeah, it's quite cool. And now I'm going back and changing this because it was a stupid idea. I decided to do walls there instead and just do it like windows in their place. And I also did a thing where I just like doubled up the windows by using move objects. They look like they're not windows at the moment, but you can do a thing with it so that they actually are windows again, like so, as you can see. I realise I haven't put one there. There is another one that gets put there, so don't worry. Excuse my throat. My throat was not like this 5 minutes ago when I went to start recording this, but somehow it's managed to do a thing. And yeah, this house does end up being rather modern, which would surprise people from the foundation that I was given. I think it surprised Torben when he first saw it, because I showed him a picture of it when it was at this stage. As you can see, the little cut there. So yeah, and then so yeah, he was quite surprised by that. And stuff like that. And I really like what I did with those windows above the roof. I thought that was quite cool. Otherwise you would have real trouble finding light in some of those rooms. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I decided to stick another window up in this roof. I like the fact that there's like windows that are close to the floor now. They came with Into the Future. I like that there's those. I've used them in both my builds since Into the Future came out. So yeah, that's awesome. I really do like those. I think they work really, really nicely. It would be nicer to have some smaller ones as well, so that I could do them on smaller spaces, or spaces where free tiles would just not work, etc. So yeah. And then we go inside and work out stairs and stuff. I use these colourful stairs because I love those stairs. And although the house ends up being quite minimalist, there is these kind of flashes of colour that work quite nicely. Now I'm just going in with the floor plan. It ends up having 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a study on the upstairs level, and then a nice open plan living and kitchen and dining area on the bottom floor. Then I realised that these aren't actually see-through, so I had to go back in, click them and delete them and then redo them, and you know, so that they were see-through. Authenticity and such. I really do love those skylights. And the skylights that from the store, the 3D ones, if you know what I mean, the triangle, the prisms and such. But now I'm finally getting into the walls and floor. Now I do go with a very bright white. That is intentional. I wanted to go for a very minimalist black and white kind of look. However, I did end up implementing like a mid-tone kind of grey as well, because I thought it just worked a bit better. But yeah, don't worry, I don't stick with this. That rock texture looked way too busy. Now I go with this one here rather than the one you just saw, and then I kind of decorate various bits and pieces with it. And I think that ended up working really nicely. And yeah, I do like the way this ends up turning out. I also like, I don't know what I was about to say. Never mind. I don't know what I'm got to talk about now. I'm just kind of adding in a few more windows before going in and doing the insides and stuff. I go with like very dark floors in comparison to the walls. Makes sense. You don't want, even in a minimalist building, you kind of don't want really, really bright everywhere. I guess it would work well if you had like white tiles, white walls and dark furniture all the time, but since I had like a mix of white and dark furniture, I thought it was best to kind of like have half and half to an extent. And here I'm adding on the floors. It's like I say, it's not going to be that light. It ends up being quite dark, like as you can see, and I think it's a really nice colour actually, and I end up making it like the baseboard or skirting board for the walls, just to give it that little bit less contrast. Except it doesn't really work as I know what I mean, but I don't know what I mean. You know, where a floor meets the ground and it's just a stark contrast. By bringing it up onto the like the skirting board or baseboard, depending on what you call it, where you are, it just kind of makes it look a bit better. And so when I was doing this kitchen, I soon realised that there was like hardly any room on any side for any form of living area, until I did move the island onto the other side. It didn't really have like a dining table area, although that probably should be added. And if I were to play it, I'd probably end up, well, no, I personally wouldn't end up putting a dining table in, just because functionality's there already. You've got like a breakfast bar kind of area and seating for 5 people, so it just works. But you could always put a dining table in, there is space for it. And then I'm just adding some bookcases to kind of fill that side out a bit, and it just makes it look a little bit better. Just changing the colours on them. I didn't want any light wood anywhere, I kind of went for dark wood everywhere, just because it worked better with the colour scheme. Because browns, like the deep browns, are a lot closer to black than the light woods are to white. It just trying to fit that into the colour scheme as best as possible. And what am I doing now? I think I just sit here for a while, just being casual, and then I do this nice little entrance area. It's really simple. There's just a sofa and a coffee table and a phone, and that's that. And then we move on to the upstairs. There was a nice little cut there, in case you didn't notice. I thought I'd just bring it to your attention a bit more, because who doesn't love being made a lost my train of thought. I keep doing that. I'm really awful at that. Anyways, the bedrooms are again very simple. There's 2 doubles and 1 like with 2 single beds in. So you could fit up to 6 Sims in this house. It's quite nice. And you can accommodate that in the living area as well, so that's cool. I've implemented a lot of the Into the Future stuff in this because it just works so well with the minimalism. I haven't stuck much on the walls, but I did add that one for a pop of colour in there. And then we move on to the master bedroom. It took me forever to find a nice bed. I kind of wanted a modern looking 4-poster bed, or at least a taller bed, if you know what I mean. The position of the bed changes as it just did. Just adding in end tables. I did this kind of thing with the curtains in the back there that I thought was quite cool, where I had the curtains and then I had like a bright, colourful picture, like cropping in behind it, and the fact that the light hit it in such a way in the game that it just looks so bright anyway. That, yeah. And I just add a chair and a plant and call it a day because I like the simplicity of the rooms. This one here is a nice little study area. We have bookcases on both sides. I just take the colours from downstairs and just kind of implement them up here. And then I add a chair and a desk and get the computer in and top it all off with a painting. It's a very simple room because it was quite small anyway. And then for some reason I move on to the bathrooms, even though there's one room left. Some of this stuff is store content, but you can easily do it with, you can easily like maintain that kind of a look that I have going without using store content at all. It was just I saw something I really liked, so I wanted to use it. Then this final bedroom is more of a children's bedroom. It's not crazy bright, but it does implement a bit more brightness. Like the rug is a lot like paler bright, whereas the rug downstairs was more of a navy and like a bright dark blue. This one is a lot lighter and contrasts quite nicely with the floor as well. And then there was the SimCity Cities of Tomorrow poster in there as well. And for this house I've kept the landscaping quite minimal, as with the house as a whole really. It just works better to keep the outside and the inside quite similar. So I just got like a line of tall trees, like adding some privacy on the one side and then having a hedge that goes around the next side. I thought that looked quite nice personally, and then I just finish off the things there, add the bin in, and then it's time for the pictures pretty much. And there they are. This one's a nice shot of the outside. There's a nice artsy shot of the entrance. You can't really see the table, but there was nowhere I was going to get it in. And then there's the other side with those stairs, which I adore to pieces. And then nice little shot of the garage, which is pretty pointless, but there you go. And then there's like this nice shot of the whole of the living area. And then we go on to the master bedroom, and you can really see that colour from that painting standing out. And then there's the children's bedroom. There's a tiny little poking in of the roof, but it doesn't affect the functionality at all, don't worry. And then there was the study and the second bedroom. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.